Hello everyone, and welcome back to RMcD's channel, or maybe not if it doesn't go up. I'm RMcD, or Ross, and we're here with Rogue Trader, Feel of Sanity. I'm joined by Beth. Say hello.
Heyo.
Johan.
Yo.
Alex. Not gonna say hello, Alex. I think he's messed
Oh
up.
no, yep, push to talk.
There
That's
you go,
the
yeah,
thing.
you gotta remember Alex.
Hello.
Philip.
Greetings.
Scott.
Hello.
Yeah, and me. Saying great, so we're just gonna get right cracking on into it.
Excellent.
I just for the record, I will forget to use push to talk now and again.
Oh yeah, I always forget it so often.
Me too, definitely.
That's right. If I think somebody should be talking, I will say something. If nobody's responding to what you're saying, think about push to talk.
Okay.
Okay,
Not
so
sure Scott ever really knows
why
that.
don't we all introduce our characters a little bit here, and we'll just start left to right on the Rogue Trader screen here. So Cornelius, you're up first.
Okay, so that's my character. I'll be playing Cornelius, who is the explorator of the Rogue Trader group. For the majority, I think most of the group don't really know him too well, for the exception of Hatia. I'm going to take a few goes at announcing that, but Johan's character, we're probably spent most of the time together. I suppose it will come to pass what our relationships are and how I know the Rogue Trader and things like that. But yeah, for all you know, I'm just an explorator of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Why were you hired on?
So I was hired on by the Rogue Trader. It's called Marius, and I was hired on as kind of a old favour to him and old connections. And I was taken on as a kind of technical aid and to provide mechanical aid and all that like.
Okay. Marius, quick question about your character. Do you prefer to be, are you very informal so people can call you Marius, or are you Lord Captain Felix?
I am informal with the kind of close, kind of my bridge crew, which is the rest of the player characters, and anybody else that I get close to. But the remaining crew would be fairly formal with me.
Okay. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about your character then?
Yeah, so I am Marius, a rogue trader from an ancient family and the family's fallen on some tough times. I've went through some interesting life experiences to get to this point, but I've just recovered one of my family's ships from an ancient vault on our home planet, and we're just kind of starting off on our journey. And I've got this crew together through favours and through their own interests have joined me, and we're about to start our adventure.
All right. Now, how much does the crew know about your past? Some more than others?
Some more than others. Claudette and Dazarior know, as well as Cornelius, know a fair amount about the tribulations I went through.
I'm playing D&D Albion and Ross.
Who's left out in that?
That would be yourself, Haeta. But
Yeah.
how much Cornelius has shared to you is up to him. But you know that I'm from an ancient house. My family name's an ancient one in kind of rogue traders and the history of rogue traders. And you've obviously seen that I've got a fairly ancient ship that I've taken command of. But yeah, they know a fair amount about my backstory, or at least how I got to this point.
Okay. Dariazor?
Yeah, I'm Dazarior Kakotati. I think.
Of course you are.
Yeah, I generated this. Okay, it's not my fault.
I may just call you DK, but
DK, yeah, that's sure. Maybe my parents' names are just as bad. Yeah, and I am a Dark Elder, and you could say that I'm a shadow at Lord Captain Felix's back. Rarely do you see him on the bridge without me just standing behind him, you know, protecting him. You know, got my weapons. And haven't really talked much to the rest of your crew, and you don't really know a lot about why I'm here or where I've come from. But pretty much, you're like, as long as you've been here, I've been here. On the ship or with Marius.
okay. Have you spoken to any of the crew about your own situation?
No, I think I've probably been kept. I've kept quite like I've certainly like I've probably formally introduced myself to the crew because I think Dark Elder are quite a fan of protocol, and the fact that we'll be interacting together. But no, I probably haven't sat down and had a chat to them about how all that stuff. But I've maybe probed into them a little bit, but nothing seriously, or overly. Overly. What's the word? Excessive.
Okay. Hene o Tirangi?
It's Haita Hini Oterangi.
Why?
Because
Why indeed?
okay, I thought about this a lot. It's Maori, like the language Maori.
Okay.
Yeah.
It means dawn, daughter of the sky, because I'm the pilot. Yeah, I thought about
Fair enough.
it.
Such a romantic.
Yeah.
What are you the pilot of? Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your character?
Oh yeah. I mean, Haita is pretty. She's not that well educated. I think. Oh, I actually think Claudette is the only one who's like on the same level of education. Like the other characters are probably pretty well brought up. I don't know if you guys speak anything but Low Gothic. If you speak High Gothic, do you speak High Gothic?
I speak
between
3
each other?
languages. Okay, don't look down on me.
Wow. Okay, so I'm the stupid one of the group.
I actually speak only one language, and I use my translator unit for everything else. Because
Okay.
I'm not going to suffer speaking such pathetic words on my
Yeah,
own.
but that's choice more rather than education.
Well, I didn't actually get Low Gothic from anywhere, as far as I saw, so I can't actually speak it either.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm a pretty open person. I mean, Hine is a pretty Haita is a pretty open person, and she can do one thing really well, and that's piloting ships or vehicles, spacecrafts, flyers, doesn't matter. She can pilot really well, and yeah, that's pretty much where she gets her confidence from. Because, I mean, maybe there are other people on the ship who can do mechanics and stuff like that, who can fight really well and shoot far and fast or whatever, but Haita can fly like a badass. She's really good at that.
Okay, here's a question for you. If you are the pilot of the ship and the shuttle and the ground vehicles, when the crew leaves the ship, who pilots the ship when you're gone?
I mean, I imagine pretty much like when everybody got their quarters, Haita pretty much took the cockpit as her quarter. I don't know how big it is. Is it a bridge or more of a cockpit?
It's a bridge.
It's a big,
Okay,
it's a big
never mind
ship.
then.
It's a very big ship.
Never mind.
Probably the
Johan-
size of a football field.
You had just got a sleeping bag like set up on the control console. Just like, don't mind me, guys.
No, man. But I mean, I specifically looked for something in my inventory, so I have let me just scroll to it. I can't scroll while I'm holding shift, so yeah. I have like a little mat or something like a little token dangling from someplace on the piloting seat, like someplace that's good to see, and it just says "The Emperor bless this ship."
And
So you have-
hanging from the rear view mirror.
Yeah, basically.
So imagine the wheel of the void ship as the wheel of a sailing ship. So would you have a seat or would you stand to steer?
I mean, that's a good question. I don't know how the ships actually fly. Do they have autopilot, or does it always have to be
There's
steered?
no autopilot. That would be heresy.
Very well. Okay. Then I guess
Oh look, GPS. Heresy.
I would have a seat, but as soon as we get like to important maneuvers, I would stand up, but not because I want to look cool or anything, but probably because Haita gets excited and yeah, can't keep sitting down.
So you wouldn't let anybody else touch the wheel of the ship.
In very dire situations, maybe, but I see it kind of as my ship.
Okay.
I mean, it
So
belongs
do me a
to
favor.
someone else, but it's kind of my ship.
Come up with a name and a personality for somebody who would be your backup pilot if, God forbid, they had to.
I mean, that's
You don't have to do it right now. Just think
okay.
about it.
Okay.
Jim from Human Resources, definitely.
Yeah, definitely Jim from Human Resources. He's a good pilot, I heard.
All right.
Oh, I have an idea. So basically, when I hired on because I really liked the ship, and I basically said I want to steer that, and hired on. But you already had a pilot, so we had some kind of a fight, like I don't know, race maybe, or a dodge fight, or
A knife fight, maybe.
Pilot duel.
I mean,
A
something.
pod race.
Yeah, pod race, probably something like that. And I beat him, but I mean, you can't just hire a guy and then immediately fire him. So he's the backup pilot right now, and his name is Frank. And he's a little of a, like, he has the statue of a football player, and is a little, his pride is a little broken since I beat him, and he's a little, I don't know, he's not yet.
He's a heavy drinker.
Maybe.
He's the high school drama antagonist on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Claudette, it is your turn.
Hi, my name's Philip. I'm playing Claudette. Her real name, her crude name, is Ankra. But I'm playing it like in crude language. It's like whistles and clicking noises, so you can't really say my name in crude. And yeah, she grew up in a tribe. Was fairly easy life. Her parents ate a lot of orcs, so she has slightly green skin and is pretty tough, even for, considering against looking at other crude, she's a little bit tougher than them. And yeah, she was leading a fairly simple life of fighting orcs, eating them, rinse and repeat. Until one day some pirates came and attacked, and made a pact with the orcs and overran the tribe. And yeah, it was fatal for the tribe. It dispersed, and the people who couldn't get away got slaughtered, and some of the young ones were left alive, including her, and they were taken away. Some were put in fighting pits or sold into slavery. First thing happened to her. She fought in the pits for almost a decade, and close to the end of her time there, she was in a bit of a tricky situation, and and yeah, that's when she met a new friend. It was Marius, And yeah, he helped her out, which, she rewarded with her loyalty towards him. And when they eventually managed to get out of slavery, she hired onto his ship as a mercenary and human resource manager and the ship's food critic, and stuff like that.
Okay, so you're in charge of human resources.
Well, I mean, also Xenos resources. Basically everything that's internal and tasty.
So the menu consists of dead people.
Well, for me. I mean, I'm not going to force my customs on other people. That would
Sounds
be rude.
interesting to me.
How
I'm all
considerate.
for it.
I mean, that's quite nice of you not to force that upon other people.
Yeah, crude are fast learners. They're like parrots.
Most interestingly to you is that the crew does eat dead people. They just put them through a refinery process somewhere on the ship first and turn them into little protein bars.
Yeah, then I wanna retract what I said
Honestly,
about
I think it's disgusting.
not talking to people. And I'm gonna talk to this guy because he's very interesting. I'm be chatting about
Who?
group culture. You, Philip,
So you think I'm a guy?
Ghetto. I mean, guy.
He
Is
probably does think you're a guy because he can't tell.
genders of crew
Yeah,
are irrelevant.
To other races, crude gender is not very apparent.
I did mean guy in a third person term, but
It's like dwarfs.
yeah, I'm just wanting to find out more about how you cannibalize people and how that process goes. I find it very interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Do you make
I'll give you a live show, like doctors do when for medical students. They have like the operation room where people can like sit upstairs and look down.
Do you take offense when people call you by pronouns that suggest you're a man?
Not at all. I'm usually, since the time in the pit, I don't really care for what people say. It's more about their actions.
Okay. Does Marius know that you are a female?
I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah, I probably would have. Yeah, from our time together in the fighting pits, I think I would have asked questions and got to know you a bit more.
Yeah, you would also know that like women and men don't really differ as much as in other Xenos cultures in the crude culture.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, I would know that about you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is going to be an interesting crew, that's for sure. Well, let's get right to it. So, Marius, the name Lord Captain Gravis Terrazant has long haunted your mind with visions of revenge for the injustice done to you and to your family. When you fought your way free of the pirate Baron, you returned to find Terrazant long gone from your territory, using the absence of your family's dynasty to propel him into richer waters and loftier circles politically. You traced the Terrazant fleet to the Calixus sector, where it worked for a short time before vanishing. You scattered your agents, charging them to find Terrazant no matter what the cost, while you began to rebuild. Now, years after your escape from slavery in the fighting pits of the notorious pirate baron Catherine Coffer, you finally restored some measure of your dynasty. You started small, and eventually were able to resecure the ship that you recently have taken control of from your family's vaults, leaving your finances a shadow of what they once were, but setting the stage for your vengeance. Not long after, as if the Emperor has blessed your hatred with providence, one of your agents has reported that the Terrazants did not move into the Kronos expanse as you had first suspected, but was instead contracted by the Inquisition to help in the Jericho Reach. Much about the Reach is mere rumor, but what is known is that the Achilles Crusade ventured into it decades ago and has made little progress. Access to the Reach is tightly controlled. You could leverage your contacts and gain access. After all, a rogue trader can provide many benefits in such places. DK, however, has proposed an alternate option. DK?
Yes. Hold on, I want to do my voice. Hold on a second. Lord Captain Felix, should it be appropriate, my master can grant you the privilege of travelling through the Dark Eldar's webway and bypassing this. What is it called again? The thing that he's got to go through, the normal thing, Dazarior.
So normally to get to the Jericho Reach, you have to go through the Warp Gate because the entirety of the Jericho Reach is beset by warp storms. So it was cut off from the Imperium a long time ago. They've since found this Warp Gate recently, within the past 100 years, and then they launched the Achilles Crusade through it, but they tightly control who goes through the Warp Gate.
Okay. So bypassing the Warp Gate and any of their overreaching feelers into the depths of our ship. That's me. I'm finished there. You can ask me questions, Alex.
And what does such a privilege entail?
My master only wishes for a small inconsequential favour should you choose to take this route.
Oh, really? And tell me more about this favour.
It's inside the Jericho Reach, right, Biff?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so there's a planet in the Jericho Reach which my master's taken interest in. Upon this planet are some interesting specimens. My master would merely ask for you to collect a sampling of them and deliver them to him. It will be of no problem for us.
What kind of specimens are we talking? People?
Yes, and exotic creatures that inhabit the surface of this Earth planet.
I'll think on your proposition. But I don't fancy going into the Jericho Reach unknown to Imperial forces and being found wanting by the Navy when we arrive.
I don't know anything about that.
But you would know.
My thought is basically that if we arrive there and when we're not meant to be there and our ship's not planned to be there, we don't want to be seen to be but like trespassing where we shouldn't be without an official warrant.
I don't know, is that how it works? Do you need an official warrant to go into a certain space region?
I don't know, Biff, would we need official sign off to be in the Jericho Reach?
Yes, so you would know that you're going to have to do a favor for somebody to get into the Reach. Now, if you go through the Warp Gate, you're going to basically be attached in a menial sort of way to the Achilles Crusade. Usually what they ask of rogue traders isn't a big deal. Just depends who's doing the asking. More often than not, it's the Inquisition.
I would also comment, Lord Captain Felix, that should your goal be the eradication of this Terrazant, as I think it is, going through this warp gate will no doubt announce your presence to him.
Thank you for the offer, Desarior. I will think on it and perhaps take you up on this suggestion. I want to go and seek out Cornelius as well and discuss it with him. The options that we've got from.
Also, Biff, by the way, he didn't actually say they were sentient, but I assume since they're slaves, they are sapient creatures.
They wasn't really specified, but you would suspect that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, What's the point in torturing a dog, right? It's a bit pointless.
Pretty
Wow.
much, that's kind of how they view humans.
Cornelius, I seek your counsel.
I was just wanting to make a quick point that you probably have to travel to find me in the ship. I don't really spend much time on the bridge. It's more, I spend a lot of time around the engines, particularly the Void engine.
We'd have comms though, internal
Yeah.
comms.
Follow the incense smell.
Yeah, the secret entrance. There's just a slime trail down the corridors.
Yeah, I'd go and find Cornelius where he is, and to chat with him about what he wants, what his thoughts are. Cornelius, are
Yes,
you?
rogue trader.
I seek counsel on our predicament and how we reach the Jericho Expanse.
Do we not seek to go via the walkways?
Well, that is what remains to be seen. The Eldar has provided us alternate means of transport through the ancient webways of their kind.
I suppose when you hear him pondering the question, there's a kind of blast of binary noise just churning away in the background of the communication for
Yep.
like 30 seconds or so.
Beep boop, beep boop.
It seems that the possibilities could be quite fortuitous for us. However, better the devil you know. If we go through it by the walkways, we somewhat know what to expect. The webways are unknown to us.
It does also mean scrutiny from the Inquisition.
Yes, which in our current state of crew would probably be something that we wish to avoid.
Indeed.
If I was, if I could take some liberties, I would perhaps wish to study the webways, get as much information out of our darker companion before we make a choice.
Yes, ask any questions that you have to him. I cannot make him answer, but he may be forthcoming.
I will make inquiries and come back with my findings.
Very good. Beth, I want to. Before I make a decision, I do want to reach out to the Inquisition and what their requirements would be if we go through the standard warp gate.
Okay, so you kind of want to feel them out?
Yeah. I want to know what, because either way I'm going to have to put my lot in with somebody. And I just kind of want to know what the benefits and downsides would be for each before I make a call.
Okay, roll against your profit factor.
Profit factor is 51.
Okay.
So, success.
Definitely. So there was an old contact of your family's by the name of Adriel Quist, and you have since heard, now that you've started looking after Terrazant, that she is in fact in the Jericho Reach as one of the more higher standing inquisitors. The fact that she reached inquisitor status so quickly is a boon unto you, probably, as your family knew her when she was an interrogator. You feel if you could somehow come into contact with her that she would be more open to your difficulties. However, there are other, especially mono-dominant inquisitors operating out of the Jericho Reach. You feel that you could get through to your contact in the Jericho Reach, which found Terrazant. Their name was Hyacinthos Echiel. and I'll put that in chat for you.
Thank you. There's no way I would be able to spell that.
Ekil's been in long service to your family, and he was the one who found the Terzants. He's currently in the Jericho Reach, having smuggled himself through on a ship going through the warp gate.
How do I go about contacting him?
You could probably get an telepathic message through to him, but otherwise you were supposed to rendezvous with him on Sankaron Beta in the Jericho Reach, where he would make personal contact with you.
Okay. I want to get a message to him to reach out to Adriel to see what she would, how amenable she would be to assisting me getting through the warp gate and what she would like in return.
Do you want to use your astropath that you have on the ship, or do you want to hire a different astropath to do that?
I would probably like to use the astropath on the ship because I feel when I was putting the crew together, I mean, a lot of the kind of menial guys on the ship would have just been whoever we can hire, but someone like an astropath, I feel I would have sought out and hired someone I could trust.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So, although they would have been almost one of the inner circle because it would be an old family astropath or someone that I would have known from my past rather than just a complete stranger.
That makes sense. You would have basically encryption protocols for your dynasty, and since you know exactly where your astropath needs to send this message through your agent, that's going to be a little bit easier to do. So Hyeda, why don't you roll for the astropath, because none of you are the astropath, right?
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
this.
I'm
What do I roll
secretly
for
an
the
astropath.
So the crew is going to roll. Did you guys buy a better crew with your ship points, or did you keep the standard crew?
We get a +5 to our crew, so we have a 35 in our crew stat.
Okay, so your crew rating is 35, which means that all checks involving your crew are going to be at a base 35. Now, you're going to get a +10 for knowing exactly where and having your own encryption protocols on this. So you need to be a 45. Just roll 1d100, please.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Wow.
Now,
Yes.
all of your yeah. So crew do not have fate points except for the navigator. I do that because going through the warp is quite dangerous. The astropath informs you that he sent the message after a considerably long amount of time, and you can tell that it strained him heavily. One moment. You can tell that he's concerned about what his mind has come into contact with, though. And as he shuffles away, you can hear him muttering about a red orb of hate in the warp.
Oh god. Okay, so
You wait for a few days, but you get no contact back from your agent.
if we haven't had any contact with from their agent within a few days, and if we were expecting it, I would presume that they... I mean, I think I would know that the message hasn't got there, because I would trust him. Even if it's bad news, he would have got back to me and told me it was bad news. Does that make sense? So, how long would I, well, I suppose it's up to me, how long would I give it to hear back from him? I'd probably give it a week to hear back, and if I haven't heard anything, I would look at making alternate plans.
So astrotelepathic messages like warp travel are not an exact science. So a week is probably good. Sometimes it can just take longer, but usually not at the distances we're talking about here. At least you don't think so. You've chosen a system nearby the warp gate, so you wouldn't see why it would take so long to get an astrotelepathic message back.
Can I seek out the astropath, and I'm going to ask him what he saw, whether the message got through or not, or is there any reason why he thinks that we haven't heard anything back?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So I want to seek out the astropath himself who sent the message on the ship and find out whether there's anything, any reason why he thinks it's taking so long for them to get back.
Okay, what would you name the astropath? Or what is your astropath's name?
I don't know. Sony Ericsson.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
that's
find Sony Ericsson in his chambers, huddled in a corner, wrapped in a blanket.
Wow, okay. What's wrong? Is there anything the matter?
What? Why would there be anything to matter? I don't get it. What is it that you desire, my lord? He sort of stands up and shakes himself off.
I merely ask. Well, you're cowering in the corner.
I was not. I was inspecting my blanket for lint. Lint.
Okay. You know you can tell me anything. I value honesty in my crew.
Well, of course, my lord. I remember your father. He valued honesty as well.
Indeed. Do you know if there's anything in the warp that would be holding up a message from being returned?
You sort of see him freeze up a little bit when you mention the warp. And in a low whisper, there is something in the warp. Dread and hateful. A red eye, ever blazing, ever vigilant. It sees me. It sees us all.
Okay. I tell him to go to the Medicaid deck to make sure he's okay. It's an order. And I then go and find DK and to arrange transport through the webways.
He insists that nothing is wrong with him, but he goes to the Medicaid nonetheless. Out of character, as the GM, psychers are crazy. So when psychers act crazy, it's not always weird.
Yeah, I'm just yeah. I think I'm reading more into it because we're roll of 99.
It's just it's a
You're free to think.
and
You're free to think whatever you want to think. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Biff, can I get a sheet for the crew?
Sure.
A handout, I mean.
So we can put names and I've got a document that I'm just adding names to. But if you want to do it in a handout, that would be easy enough. Desarior, contact your master. We we shall be needing his assistance.
At once, Lord Master. What's it's not Lord Master, is it? Lord Captain. Lord Captain Felix.
Lord Captain.
I will go acquire the coordinates for the web gate. And then I'll like walk away and go get them. Though you don't know how I get them.
Oh, we're just lost.
Okay, there it is.
Refresh.
So you return to your quarters.
Yep.
Where you find the Eldar head waiting for you.
Well, predecessor, my master's well has been acquisized. Give me the coordinates.
He does so, rattling off a series of systems that you all will have to travel through.
I admire the majesty of my master's work once again. And then I'm like, oh, I've got to come back and play with that some more. And then I go back and find it.
However,
Uh-oh.
after he's told you the coordinates of where to find the way gate and where to expect it to dump you out, he starts wailing in a high keening pitch. The room grows cold and the lights dim until there is utter darkness. And you see a familiar runic glow of green power
Yep.
as a mandrake enters your room, scoops up the skull, and disappears.
I shiver. My master's pretty powerful. But yeah, I mean, I look like I follow the mandrake and look at the glow. Like, whereabouts in the room was it?
It was near your bed where you had the skull.
And there's no sign, or can I just want to see if there's any markings or anything remaining of the portal.
No, it's not a portal. So you would know this as a Dark Eldar. Mandrakes are not particularly Eldar. Some started out that way, but what they are now defies comprehension. And they can travel basically anywhere. They don't use the webway. They use some means that nobody understands. And so they're often used as intergalactic messengers, assassins, and whatnot by more powerful Dark Eldar like your master.
Okay. Yeah. So then, I would know that then. All right. So then, I head back and inform Marius. Marius, Dark Lord Captain Felix, here are the coordinates. We will exit the webway at this system.
Fantastic. Suppose we can deal with the Inquisition once we arrive. I have a confident in an old friend that will be able to help us out. Hayato, here are the coordinates. Lay in a course.
Very well. Biff, can I get... Do we have a navigator on the ship?
Do you have a navigator?
You need navigators, otherwise you can't go through the warp.
Yeah, I want that guy to come to me.
He does. Do you have a name for your navigator?
Shit. It's Tom Tom.
Tom Tom?
Wow.
Okay, so Navigator Tom of the noble house Tom approaches. His tall and gangly, thin form, clear sign of mutation. His long fingers smoothly scrape upon your back, and he leans down over your shoulder as you're driving. What can I do for you?
So out of character, I have an Almanac Astrae Divinitus. Am I allowed to have that, or will he like report me to the authorities if I show him that?
If you show him what?
My Almanac Astrae Divinitus.
Is it a prescribed item?
No, it's basically it's like a star card, but it's normally used by, I don't know, normally by navigators. So I don't know if I'm allowed to have that, or if
You can
that's
have
like okay. Yeah, so I basically use my star card to. I'm pretty new to warp traveling, but I don't want to tell him that. So basically, I'm like, excuse me, Tom. May I call you Tom?
Of course.
I got the new cause, and I want to speak it over with you before we go. And basically, I want to talk him through the course I'm planning to go, and he'll, as a navigator, he of course knows a better course or whatever. I don't actually know how warp traveling works, so.
Well, interesting fact, you don't have to warp travel to get to this gate. The gate coordinates provided are actually in the system that you all are in right now.
Oh, so we can just drive there, cruise?
You can drive there, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask him if there's anything like, I don't know, a known minefield that's on the way, or if we're clear to go.
Okay. Claudette, why don't you roll me a 1d100 and we'll see what Mr. Tom knows.
Not much, apparently.
Jesus Christ! Our
Great
crew is
starting
terrible.
rows, guys. Great starting rows.
Tom says that the way is clear. It is clear. I think we shall have clear winds today.
No malice in his voice at all.
No, I mean
Zero foreshadowing.
from what I know of Navigate or of Psychers, he's a normal dude. He's actually pretty tame for a Psyker. So yeah, I use my my Voxcaster to inform everybody that we are taking off. Is it noticeable in the ship that we're flying, or will it just be, I don't know, will we just fly?
Unless for some reason your artificial gravity goes down, nobody would really notice.
Okay, then I think about telling everybody to buckle up because we're gonna have some awesome space adventures, but then I think, yeah, we're just cruising, so no need to embarrass myself, and I'll go.
You easily make it to the prescribed coordinates without any problems whatsoever. Tom was clearly correct.
Great guy, that Tom. Love him already.
You approach the vast dark emptiness of deep space out beyond the system. A rogue asteroid orbits the system in an elliptical orbit. And it is coming up on the coordinates that you've been given as you arrive. You don't see any sort of device or portal of any kind that would allow you to transcend into another dimension of the webway. But as you wait for a little bit at the coordinates, you see the asteroid go past and disappear rather suddenly. Would you investigate?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fly through there. That's
Claudette
the
comes by on the bridge and informs you all that she's yearning some, living or dead food, but that was living, so consider that.
Before we consider flying through that kind of thing, I would speak to my first officer and have him prep the crew and potentially stand by, not red alert, but stand by in case anything happens.
What do you tell your first officer? Is your first officer there on the bridge with you?
Yes.
Does he know what you're contemplating to do?
Yes, I would have spoken to him in advance of this. He would probably be quite skeptical of it.
What is your first officer's name?
I can't think of anything as witty as Sonny Ericsson or Tom Tom.
He probably just has one name.
Yeah, probably just. We'll go with Jack.
You got it, boss. So I'll get right on it. I'll go talk to this crew, and we'll get them all ship shape.
Well, good. Make it so. Oh God, I did it. Sorry, I promised I wouldn't quote Star
That
Trek.
didn't take long.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure they're ready for anything. We don't want any surprises.
Are you sure I should tell them what we're about to do? I mean, maybe a little bit of a surprise would be good. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, don't tell them exactly what we're going to be doing, but let them know. Prep it as a training exercise. Gun cruise.
Training exercise. Very good, sir. I'll get right on that. In like a minute, you hear in the background, attention crew, prep for exercise 37-B, subsection 47-2A. Other people on the bridge kind of look at each other and shrug.
I think on the bridge, I mean, I suppose there's going to be random crew on the bridge, but I would limit it to absolutely essential personnel, people that I trusted, rather than just random members of the crew. So,
Okay.
obviously, pilots covered, the navigator and astropath, I would know and trust. And Dazarior would be lurking somewhere in the corner.
What kind of crew quarters do you have?
Just voidsman quarters. So they're good quality quarters. They're just not. There's nothing special about them. We also have some luxury ones as well.
Are your crew allowed in the luxury compartments?
Officers and senior crew, not standard crewmen.
Okay.
But the standard quarters are nice enough. They're not cramped. They've each got their own rooms and facilities and things like that.
Soon enough, Jack reports in that the crew is in ship shape and ready for whatever comes.
Okay, Dazarior, you've probably done this before.
Many times.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you arrange it with Hayata. Send us in.
Pilot it in. It's very simple. Not like
Okay.
this horrible warp gate nonsense.
I look at Desiree and I look a little skeptic, and I'm like, is it big enough for us? Like, I saw the asteroid pass through, but will we fit in as well?
No. Obviously, we will fit in. Otherwise, it would not be a portal for the ship.
You're making a lot of sense, Desario. And I'm like grabbing my boxcaster and say, ladies and gentlemen, this is your pilot speaking. We're heading for some light turbulences, so if you feel sick, just think of the cleaning crew. And then I hit it.
Alright, so you pilot the ship forward. Just looks like you're piloting into the vast depths of space like normal. And then suddenly there's a transition. Before you know it, without any discernible bumps or wild shrieking or any attempts at daemon possession or any of that, you find yourself into the slipstream of the webway. Think of a massive cylinder streamed with light, and you can clearly see how to navigate it, just like space, and the boundaries are very well defined. It's almost like navigating down a tunnel designed for spaceships. There's branches left and right as you guys continue on. Now, Derzor, do you just continue to guide them, or do you guys get a little adventurous?
No, I'm actually really unhappy. Like having inferior ships at all inside the web bay. Like I feel disgusted by that they're polluting. Like what's our environment? I mean, the last time was what that Legion that rampaged through the webway and they basically destroyed a portal. So I'm trying to get them quickly through it, make as less noise as possible because this is tainting. You know, they're tainting it just by being here in my mind.
It's all sorry, despite being the captain, it's all kind of new to me. So I'm happy to defer to Zarior to kind of lead them through the webway and navigate the ship.
Like I think this is like new to. I mean, you've heard nothing about this, and this would be new to everyone on the ship, and it's kind of as I wrote, it's like amazing that you can travel between stars without having to fear demon incursions or stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, my knuckles are probably a little bit wide, but I don't actually have to do very much. So I'm like sitting there grabbing the. I don't know what is it like a rudder or a joystick?
No, it's VR these days.
What does it look like?
You're like Tom
It's
Cruise
like
now.
a old sailing ship wheel. That's what you have.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I'm grabbing the ship wheel.
How do you pull up? Does the whole wheel move back?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Nifty man.
Cornelius, you're in the engineering, monitoring the engines closely. They've warned you that there's an exercise going on, and the Lord Captain Felix has also told you that you're entering into the webway. Yet you're still waiting for something to happen. The engines seem to be working nominally, and it seems like you all are just cruising through space right now.
How peculiar. I suppose my next kind of tests and things would just be to try and take some sensor readings, see what's going on, with the hull integrity, the density, see if anything's changed, see what's happening outside of the ship.
Sure, you can find out what's going on the ship and outside the ship if you wanted to.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a broad spectrum, kind of to complement the ship's computing power with my own to get a wide aspect of data.
All right. So you go over the ship systems and you find that as far as Imperium ships go, everything is nominal. Turning on some of your outside auspexes, you determine that you're not in space anymore. You're in some sort of a pocket dimension, you would guess. And so that pretty much keys you into the fact that you're in the webway. That, in and of itself, is pretty amazing for a Mechanicus person.
Yeah, so basically I'm just kind of reaping as much data as I can the entire time.
So you're just going to try and take as much data as you can?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would possibly see as well if there's any physics kind of affect the same way in this pocket dimension.
All right. Why don't you give me give me a tech use test? Do you have anything on the ship that helps you with that?
Suppose I wouldn't have anything particular myself now. Suppose that's something I want to possibly look into in the future. But yeah, tech use.
Yeah, go ahead and take that out of +10.
Okay.
Oh, I'm muted on Discord, but I'm not muted personally. So everyone who's listening hears this.
Very nice.
I have to mute my mic. Fuck.
Okay. This is a good time to mention before it actually happens. Critical successes are on a 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then a 98, 99, and 100 are my critical failure thresholds. I don't know if you guys saw that in the rules or if sometimes I forget to put things in there, but I just wanted to go over that with you.
Okay.
So you get a lot of good data going through the webway. However, you guys are only in it for about an hour before making a couple turns here and there, before you guys drop back into real space. Now from this side, in the webway side, you can clearly see the portal approaching. The data that you're pulling in is like the dimensions of the webway tunnels that you're going through. You could actually, if you came back in through this portal, you're pretty sure you could find your way back to the portal that you started with.
Okay.
You're sort of running mapping protocols and stuff like that. Other data that you get is far more arcane and mind-boggling. You have records of it, but if you want to go through it, it's going to take time.
Yeah. I suppose the other thing that I was wanting to ask is would I be able to tell if this webway is like a toilet roll tunnel? It's only got one end and then one exit, or does it have chutes, or is it more like a rabbit warren?
It's like a rabbit warren.
Yeah. Okay. And
it's quite similar to a web, I think, Scott.
Smart ass.
Don't steal
Anyway.
my tight jokes, Alex.
I wasn't even looking.
For all crew involved, the whole process is very simple. It didn't appear to be dangerous in any way. You didn't see any other ships. And it didn't take very long. It wasn't rough. You didn't need a Geller field. None of that. And it pops you right back out into space.
Would I see any particular fluctuations during the transition? Or like that I want to make sure I'm mapping as well?
You notice an anomaly in your readings, but it's going to take time to figure out what that anomaly entails.
Yeah. So that's basically what I wanted to do, is read as much data that I can then analyze later on.
On a private Vox channel away from the Zarior, can you go down to and speak to Cornelius with it? And I was like, did you get information that you needed?
Some very curious readings, Lord Captain. I don't know what to make of them quite yet, but this is unprecedented. It will take me some time. I wish to possibly secret away as much of this information as I can in a safe place. This could be dangerous for anyone to possess.
Indeed, I trust you with it. Maybe best not let the Eldar know that you've taken data from the webway.
Indeed.
You all drop out, and on the edge of a system, you're getting odd contacts coming from the system itself. It's got an asteroid belt and 2 planets that seem to be sending out Imperial signals. The rest of the planets look uninhabitable by your initial readings. Why don't, if you want to investigate, you can. What do you guys want to do?
I'd be very interested to find out exactly where we are and get a bit more information about the surrounding area.
Desarier. Desarier. I'll get it right someday.
DK.
You know this system as Aliendario. It used to be a maiden world.
Time to Google what that is. Does everyone else know? Yeah.
Can you guys not see anything on this page?
Yeah, I can see Invictus.
Yeah, I can
by-
see the ship.
it.
Okay, so the token for your ship is Invictus. That is the Rogue Trader icon. The system is to your right, Endorial. You can look at the map key to find out what all information is being told to you there. And then there's the Dark Eldar icon next to it for other reasons.
So there's an orc planet, and what's orange?
Green is Agri World. Orange is feudal.
Oh, green is that's the order around it. My bad. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I looked up. So I made him already as one that Eldar.
You can see
seeded
the
with light.
background is a pink purplish color.
Yeah.
That's telling you who nominally owns it.
Dark Eldar. Sweet. Well, I tell the captain that this is a Dark Eldar aligned subsystem or system.
Unsurprising that we've been dumped out here. Then, do you know where we are? Do you know much about the planets here?
I assume, Beth, that I know how to get to the mission planet for the exotic creatures. Is that right? Do I know where that is?
You do know where that's at.
Because I think he gave me the coordinates to that. And well, in the past I've travelled in this region before for many raids, but no, I have not spent particular time at this system. However, I do know how to the direction of the system my master would like us to collect specimens from.
Cool.
What's Claudette up to at the moment?
Claudette is hanging out mostly in her own chambers. Sometimes she walks over to the barracks, but mostly she's trying to contain herself. Going with small animals, think like the huts or something. Like, I have some snacks on board, but I'm obviously, let's say I'm happy we took a fast route traveling.
Okay, but
And-
you're kind of more hanging out on your own rather than being on the bridge with us or in a critical system somewhere.
Yeah, when you get in my room, you see some claw marks on the wall, but it looks more like, I don't know, from practice or something. Yeah.
There is a gym on deck 4.
Yeah, maybe she's like sleepwalking, or maybe like her old pit reflexes are kicking in from like, oh, I have to jump out of my bed immediately, otherwise I will get shivved in the dark, or something like that.
Fair enough. I want to kind of engage the sensors and get a bit more information about these planets that we are near, or these potentially populated planets that we're in the same system as.
Okay. That would be a tech use test to use your auger to scan the system.
Tech use. I don't have that on my character sheet.
Hey, should I roll for like a lore of what I know about this system? Is that what
If you
do?
want.
I should do that. I'll do that because I see that makes sense. That's how that works. The game
Tech
works.
use rolls against agility. No, yes, agility, doesn't it?
No, tech use runs against intelligence.
Oh, okay. Any modifiers on the roll?
Yeah, take a +10.
Okay. So, nothing.
Do you have tech use?
I've got security, but I don't have
Okay.
tech use.
So tech use is an advanced skill, which means that you actually roll it at half.
So I still failed.
You still failed, just failed by a lot more.
Yeah.
So you're getting weird, like ghosted ship contacts all in your auger, but they seem to be all over the place. There are also Imperial signals. You're just not able to get a good lead on one, so whenever you try and bring it up, you're getting static. You feel like this is something that somebody more experienced at this could probably do.
Would it be common lore, Dark Eldar, to know about the system?
I am.
One second, RM.
Basically, I realise that I'm actually getting nothing out of the system, and I have no idea how to use the ship with any actual ability. And I voxed down to Cornelius to try out the sensors, and he'll probably be able to see what I'm currently doing and doing completely incorrectly.
Yeah, I'll answer back, confirming my availability to do so. But I just wanted to mention something or ask something regarding this out of character. So, with the cortex implants, gives me unnatural intelligence ×2. That changes the modifier, doesn't it? But I don't
No, it
think
gives
it's
you extra degrees. So it changes your bonus, but it doesn't actually increase your skill. It gives you extra degrees of success in opposed checks, though.
Right, okay. Yeah, I was just wondering mechanically how the bonus change works in regards to tests of this type. So it'd only be opposed tests.
It's still a +10 on your tech use.
Right, okay. No, that's fair enough. Yes, of course, I can lend a hand. Let me just finish up with the previous information that we discussed, and I will be able to perform those tests.
Of course.
I just wanted to ask as well, before we're at this, if I was wanting to encrypt the data and make it as safe as possible, is there any particular test or way that I'd go about that?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
So the data that I reaped from the webway, if I wanted to encrypt that or make it secure, is there any way that, what would be the best way of going around that?
Short term, you could just download it into your brain because your brain acts as a cogitator right now. But you're gonna have to do security tests to actually encrypt it.
No, that's fine. I'd make sure the data's transferred just before I make any of those tests and purge it from the ship systems. So it's only in my head. And then I would make the tests for the captain. It was tech use test. Would I get the +10 as well?
Yes, you do.
Yep. And I stopped there. God, these rolls.
And remember, you guys have fate points. If you spend a fate point, you can re-roll a roll.
I've got 4 to play with, so I suppose I can do that. Yeah. How do points regenerate again?
During a session, it's pretty rare to regenerate a point. You usually have to do something pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of each session, you get all of your fate points back.
Okay, right. Well, I'll use the fate point to reroll that then. Leaves me with 3. So.
Wonderful.
Wow.
So basically, from this range, we're not getting anything.
You feel like you're going to have to go deeper into the system towards the core to really get a good signal on these Imperial strains. As far as the ship signals, the ship contact signals that you're getting, it's very unclear what's going on. You're not even certain. It might be that your Auspex is just broken.
It seems like we're not getting very clear readings at the moment, Lord Captain. I apologise. I can't do any better at the moment with the equipment we have to hand.
Okay.
So I have heard about this region, or I've been here.
You did war. You know that currently the Dark Eldar from one of the local septs is, or the local cabals, if you will, is running raids on the region. And they're probably running raids on this particular system because it used to be a maiden world. You know it used to be a maiden world, but you don't know what else has happened sort of since then. Probably given that people are talking about Imperial signals that they're just not able to come through, it seems like the Imperials are probably on the Maiden world, which is why they're being reaved.
I see. So they've got Imperial infesting our worlds that we've seeded, or the Eldar seeded, but we have claim to that too.
That's correct.
So probably since the webway was pretty empty, they're not actively raiding right now.
You would know that the weird signals that they're getting on their auspex is a sign that they're actively raiding.
Okay.
The ghost fields and hollow fields that your ships run for defense are displaying merry hell on their ship sensor systems.
Okay. Well, I probably think it's inappropriate for us to join the raid, as raiding for Dark Eldar is mostly about pleasure, right? And not as much about material gain. Like, it's not about winning, it's more about having fun, right?
Well, it's about both. Obviously, the Eldar need peoples to torment and feed off of. But yeah, a lot of it is fun too. Now, the danger here is you don't know who is raiding. So if this is a faction that doesn't feel good feelings towards you or doesn't care about what's going on, you could be in trouble real quick.
Well, I say I trust my master, but this very well could be a test. Well, I tell Lord Captain Felix, there's an ongoing Dark Eldar raid in this system. I'm not too sure who is the cabal that's been in the raid. I haven't been in the webway in some time to be up to date on my politics. Depending on who it is, it could be good or bad for us. So I would suggest heading to the Xenos system without alerting, with making minimal impact on the Dark Eldar crew, on the Dark Eldar raid.
That seems like a good idea. The last thing we need is a fight at the moment. Hayata, setting a course for the Xenos system.
Yeah, I sigh a little, but I'm not. I mean, one Dark Elder is a lot, and a system that's probably full of Dark Elder is a lot too much. But yeah, I'm just doing my job. So yeah, I'm heading straight for the. Should I go for the center or just to one of the planets?
A planet.
Yeah. No, the edge of the system.
Okay. Yeah, I slowly drive closer to the edge of the system.
Well, I assume our holds are empty right now, Biff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, what, yeah, I realise I haven't said this yet, but what Desire thinks is, like, obviously you'd fill your hold, you know, it's not even, like, a question. Like, it's something that's so, like, it's this Xenos culture thing that he's just like, yeah, you're gonna collect all the slaves you can for a specimen for my master.
Okay.
Also, I would assume we'd be delivering this straight away as well. Like, just going back to this webgate.
Yes, this is the delivery point.
So yeah, so I'm not worried about us going off and needing space or anything like that. So yeah, I haven't mentioned it, and if the Lord Captain doesn't ask, then I don't bring it up. Like if he starts only collecting 10 of them when we're there, then I'll be like, Lord Captain, I'll speak about it. I assume we'll have to like fight something when we get there. I don't know.
Okay, so you guys want to travel to the Xenos system?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean we're edging closer to it.
Okay. Let's do some navigating.
Go, Tom Tom.
Oh yeah, if we do navigating, I'm gonna get TomTom. My almanac is completely useless, I guess. Or is it useless? Is this like completely unknown space, or was it known once?
It was known once. You guys don't have any current maps of it, or probably you don't have any old maps because. So the lore of it is that the Jericho Reach was just crossed out once they lost contact with it. For a while they tried, but it was clear that the warp storms weren't ever abating, so they just kind of X'd it off of all the Imperial records. And so this went for like millennia. And then they found the warp gate more recently. So it's been about 5,000 years since anybody's been to the Jericho Reach. So your
Okay, that's fair.
records, the records they did have are in possession of people like the Inquisition and other such organizations. Maybe the Navus Nobility would have those still. But or other rogue traders might have more up-to-date information for you. Maybe even pirates that have been operating in the area. Because they're more desperate, they might have tried to brave the warp storms, so they may have been here more often.
Before we get going to the Xeno system, I do want to send, or attempt to send, another message to my contact to reach out to the Inquisitor.
Okay. So you're going to have the astropath send off another message. Give me another roll for the astropath at a plus 30. Very
Success.
nice. So once again, you find him in the hospital, the medical deck. You find him on the medical deck, and he sends off a message to your contact. He feels certain that it was received.
Excellent. Let me know as soon as you get a response. I say to the astropath.
And you were just letting your contact know that you were in the Jericho Reach.
In the Jericho Reach, and to reach out to Adriel, the Inquisitor,
Okay.
to effectively get a reason to be here if we're questioned by Imperial ships. And to get a contract, potentially get a contract as well, because our only contract so far is to get a specimen or two back to the master of the Dark Elder. After that, we're effectively got no money and no income.
All right. So you guys are reasonably close by. So we determined the distance. Got that. Okay, so now your navigator needs to locate the Astronomicon. The navigator tests his sinus sights. So somebody give me a Windy 100 roll, and you got to be a 35.
I'll take this one.
I just typed before you said that.
So
you can take it if you want, Scott.
No,
Now-
we're taking the roll, so yeah.
I didn't know we were
I'll get the
claiming
next
rolls.
one.
Your navigator has 1 fate point. So you could spend it on this, but I'm going to tell you there's more stuff coming up.
I'll defer to someone else on that decision.
We stick with the
Ross,
roll.
it's
We don't use the fate point yet.
Okay. So 3 degrees of failure. All right, now we're going to steer the vessel. This is an extended test. and make navigation warp checks are made and successes accrue until they equal or exceed the number needed determined in step 1, which I determine the distance. I keep this number hidden, just so you guys know. So I come up with the number that you guys need to meet on that by determining distance. The part of the reason I made this map is I can use a handy dandy ruler to figure out exactly how far something is. So it keeps it fairly consistent. So once you guys meet the number of successes, your destination is reached. If you guys took a rune caster, then you double the number of successes generated. What did you take as your Xenos tech, by the way?
We took Chameleonic Hull.
Okay. What are you running as your hull right now?
We are running a standard, the standard hull. There's nothing, no
Okay,
changes.
so you're not hiding.
Standard frigate. We're not hiding currently.
Very good.
We also haven't programmed in any patterns yet, which I might ask.
Great.
Well, unless there were any that came with the ship when we got it. So I'd imagine there might be a few ancient patterns, potentially other types of Imperial ship, whether it's a
Roll 1d5.
two.
You have 2 patterns. What do you want them to be?
So this is the frigate plus 2 patterns, or the frigate is one of them?
+2. It's plus 2
2.
pattern.
A standard transport ship that looks unarmored, unarmored, fairly weak, and also one of larger, heavily armed cruiser.
Now, I don't remember 100%. Does the chameleon hull allow you to appear to be larger or smaller? Or
No,
is it just similar scale?
It's same size. I don't think it changes size. It changes colors and markings. So I suppose it wouldn't change weapons, that kind of thing either, would it?
No, it wouldn't. So
Okay.
you could basically look like a frigate. I give you a raider even. A transport is going to be rather large, though.
Well, one of them is going to be the colors of my rival family.
Oh, okay. So you want a Terrazant scheme? You want to look like a Terrazant frigate? Very good.
Standard frigate. And then the other one would just be unaligned raider. So no markings at all, just completely blank.
Okay.
So what that's our incognito one. It's not showing who we are until communications are established.
Okay. All right. So Tom goes into his little protective eggshell and is inserted into the ceiling of the bridge deck where he does his navigating. He does stay in contact with you, Aida.
Yeah, that's very reassuring of him.
Well, you steer the ship.
Yeah. Also, it's very reassuring because, yeah. Do we roll for him, or do I have to roll that myself as a pilot?
So it's a navigating warp. Do you have navigation warp?
I don't.
Okay, so it's going to be him that's going to be doing the navigate warp checks. So you can go ahead and roll those since you're involved in that process.
Is navigation stellar the same as navigate warp?
No. So might not seem obvious at first, but navigating warp is when you actually enter the warp and are proceeding between 2 stellar locations. Navigating stellar is when you're not in the warp, but you're in space.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, you see the blinding flash of immaterium energies open up before you like a rent in space. And your ship begins to enter, at which point you hear Tom say, oops.
I grit my teeth.
Okay, we got to make some navigation warp checks here. Rogue Trader, did you want to help this situation out at all?
How do you mean? Did I help out at all?
You have a special ability, don't you?
I do indeed. I have the ability to help the rest of my crew. Description. I can't remember where it is. It's not with me. I didn't write it down.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, I didn't write it down. But I have the ability. I think I confer a +10 bonus to shipboard tests if I pass a fellowship test.
Is it a fellowship or is it a command?
Sorry, command based off of my fellowship. Yeah.
Oh no, you can just do it. It says exceptional leader has a free action once per round. The rogue trader may grant an ally that he can see and who can hear him a +10% to any one test. Now,
Yes.
in addition to that, any character with the command skill who passes a command check can confer a +10 bonus to any allies who can hear him.
I have both. Presumably, I have to pick one. Or can I do?
Well, no, you are the rogue trader, so you can try to do both.
Okay, so I'm going to try a command check first. I'm going to do my exceptional leader is going to give the bonus regardless, because I want to be able to navigate the warp. But I'm going to give command test as well. So I'm going to be standing on the bridge, kind of arms behind my back, staring into the abyss, and scream towards Hayata. Because this is the first time that she's taken us into warp. I presume the navigator's done it before. This is the first time she's done it. Hayata, you've never been. I've never been on a ship with you doing this before. Good luck, and don't get us all killed. That's my command.
Yeah, I try my very best. But yeah, do I have to roll anything in here, or do I just have to keep the steering wheel in check and the navigator is navigating us?
The navigator is navigating. So he's basically telling you to turn left and turn right because you cannot actually perceive the void. Once you guys go into the warp, the Geller fields come on and it's just blackness. You guys just see blackness. If you saw into the warp, you would go insane. So be grateful for that. So you're staring in the blind and he's like your walkie-talkie man. He's telling you, okay, left 20 degrees and stuff like that.
Okay. I really hope he's competent.
So I rolled that a flat. I don't know if there was any modifiers, but I was...
There's not.
Okay, so I failed.
So you failed that one, so he's going to get a +10 on his navigate warp. He's taking, however, a -30 for his degrees of failure. So that puts you guys at a -20 overall. So 15 or better.
Who's rolling?
Who wants to roll that?
You are the pilot.
It was nice serving with you guys. I had
Shit.
a good journey.
Actually, before we really are in the void, I'm gonna grab the Vox thing and tell everyone to this time really buckle up. It might get, I mean, Harry is a little understatement. It might get bad.
I buckle up.
Easy.
Oh shit!
I just realized you can't clap with push to talk. How am I gonna perform slow claps now?
That's a good
You
question.
just need to golf clap.
Just hit your head against the table.
What was that sound?
That was probably his
That was not
parents
slow
doing
clapping.
Shush.
Okay, we got a success. Excellently done. Now, we have to do it again.
Great.
For real?
Me again or someone else this time?
Whoever
I
you
vote.
want.
I vote you. Like, I think
Yeah.
Johan should take control of the navigation
makes
with
sense.
Tom. Yeah.
Wait, didn't I roll the 99 for the for the
99 was
got
your
fate
first
points,
roll.
so
It
you
was
can
getting out of the
reroll.
way, Johan.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Do you guys have a Warpsbane Hull?
No.
A Belisine Gellerfield?
No. We've got a standard Gallerfield.
A Ship's Master or Fleet Flag Bridge?
No, we have a command bridge.
A Warp Sextant?
No.
Okay.
Kinky.
All of these things are looking like better choices than the things I picked. Oh dear.
That's all right. You guys can remake your ship and your characters for the first 3 sessions.
I'm going to turn into an orc weird boy, guys.
He could pilot the ship potentially in warp instances.
A weird
Um,
boy?
Yeah.
Really? Wow,
How do
I
you
didn't
think
know
the
that.
orcs get through the warp?
I had never considered it before now.
They're clearly not rocket scientists.
Did we get a second roll? No.
No, not yet. What do I have to hit?
Yeah, 15.
Just roll.
There's a lot of navigation rolls when you travel through the warp.
You can do it.
Oh.
Only 4 degrees of success. Failure.
Oh dear.
Okay, 4 degrees of failure means that you guys are going to have some stuff happen to you. Now, with my house rules, I've made this less deadly, but it's still pretty bad. Looks like you guys are going to run into a warp storm.
Can I eat that?
Do you want to fate it? You do have a fate point.
You think he means physically eat it rather than eat the fate point?
I mean, certainly you could try. You're going to have to open up the ship and jump off of it. But sure, let's see what
Well,
happens.
I got a void suit, right?
Yeah.
Can't wait for you to face a demon and you're just nomming it.
Are you guys going to fate that roll, or what do you want to do?
I think that decision is with Marius.
I will use a fate point to reroll
Okay,
it.
let's re-roll
Want,
it.
want me to reroll it?
Don't forget all the
Yes.
myriad ways you can use a fate point, like getting a +10 on a test.
Less terrible.
Oh, that's
Less
not bad.
terrible.
That's not bad. That's
That's
just a
less
failure.
terrible.
Nothing bad happens. Let's make another one. Okay. 45, 3 degrees of failure. At 3 degrees of failure, you all run into a bout of warp sickness.
Good job, we've got a Medicaid deck.
Roll 1d10, please.
Everyone?
Just one person.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Number 1.
I think it's good.
Low rolls are always better. Take from the
Okay,
bad
so
thing.
this won't cause insanity. It will only cause illness. So test toughness or willpower as appropriate. This is going to be a toughness check on this one, guys. So go ahead and give me your toughness checks.
With minus or plus something?
No minuses or pluses. Just straight.
Wow.
They're so fucked.
The Xenos are absolutely fine.
Are we in a warp
so-
or something? I don't know what's
So
going on.
don't forget, you guys have fate points. You can re-roll.
I'm gonna fate point.
You're gonna run out of fate points so fast, guys. We're only in like an hour 30 in.
We're 2 hours in almost.
I'm taking the sickness.
Okay, you're going to take the sickness. Cornelius, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to take as well.
Excellent. So, illness. Success indicates the crew has resisted. So somebody roll for the crew, please.
Not me this time.
Just a D100, right?
Gotta beat a 35. Not
Well,
beat
Our
it.
crew is
I
so
tried.
bad.
So how many pain tokens do I get from everyone throwing up everywhere?
Are you gonna? Do you want to eat a pain token off of us?
I mean, if I can enjoy them being ill, yes.
Yeah, go
Russell-
ahead.
Sweet.
Go ahead.
Daz is just manically laughing.
Yeah.
Suffer.
Actually, Daz, I forgot. I would like you to make a willpower check.
Okay. Also, by the way, I get extra ones for extra pain tokens if it's my allies who suffer. Here's my willpower.
Okay. Oh, Daz. You're not at all comfortable with the idea of entering into the warp, the domain of she who thirsts, who's ever hungering for your soul.
No.
Make a fear. So you failed a fear check. So roll on
Okay.
the shock table.
Sure. What do I roll for that?
I think it's just a 1d100.
Okay. 300. E4! Oh shit. Yeah, I said I wasn't happy about going to the warp, guys.
What'd you get?
84.
84. Panic grips the character. He must flee the source of his fear, if able, as fast as he can, and if prevented from doing so, which you are, he may only take half actions and is at a negative 20 penalty to all tests while in the warp. The character gains 1d5 insanity points, which you ignore. Once away from the danger, he must successfully snap out of it to regain control.
Okay, so does Ryan's just like in the corner, like pressed against it, pressed against the wall, just like, I guess you don't really get the same facial expressions. Like, he'd be sheer white if he wasn't sheer white already, in fear. A little bit better because everyone else is hurting because of the sickness, but
So he's getting a rosy tone.
yeah, I guess it's vice versa.
Okay, so roll 1d10 plus 2 for the guy who rolled the crew skill check.
Claudette.
1d10 plus 2?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean weak Xenos? You don't have a chaos god chasing after every Eldar.
Okay, that's how much morale your crew loses.
Fuck.
How much, like... That's bad, right?
Oh, then that's not morale, that's population loss. It's temporary
Can I
population loss.
As in, we can hire new people? Or as in, they will come out of the coma or something?
Okay, so 1 point of this will be permanent. The rest of it is temporary loss. As long as the ship stays in warp or any crew are still affected, roll again each steering check. Then Medicaid skill can be used to alleviate the sickness while still in the warp or cure the sickness after the warp is exited. Success with Medicaid skills alleviates or cures 1 point of crew population plus 1 per additional degree of success to a maximum of the healer's intelligence bonus. Once the warp is exited and all surviving crew is cured, the illness ends. So, my bad. This actually has no effect on you guys. It's just your crew.
Oh, okay.
So we don't get sickness?
You do, but it doesn't have any real effect on you.
So does Alex get his fate point back?
Yeah, go ahead and take it.
I spent
Okay.
my fate point.
Yeah, my bad.
Do I still get? Are they still suffering though? Right?
We have a Medicaid deck, FYI.
The
Should
crew
I
is
take off
is definitely still suffering, big time.
Okay, so I should keep 1 pain token. I shouldn't take it off then.
That's right.
Okay, sweet.
So we can, for that, we get a plus 20 on our Medicaid test, and we can treat triple the medic's intelligence bonus.
Well, very good.
So we are going to send, so some of the crew are going to go to the sick bay.
Okay. You're going to send the sick crew to the sick bay and try to cure them?
Yes.
Who's going to cure them?
Our ship's medic. Our ship's medic.
Oh, the crew is going to cure the crew. Okay.
Yes. We don't
All right.
have any of us that are medics.
Before we make that roll, let's take a quick break and we'll meet at the top of the hour. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds fine.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching part 1 if you did, and we'll see you guys in 5 minutes or whenever I upload the next video.
Yeah, it's not live.
Yeah, no, it's not.